In our house, we talk a lot about the heart motive underneath our choices, our behaviors, our actions, our words. And so I, as a mom, really want my heart motive towards my kids to be one of love and connection. Obviously, the goal is not perfection. The goal is to learn to depend on Him, to have the grace and to have the words, and to remain in that place of connection with our kids. Well, hi, my name is Dawn. I am a licensed therapist, a homeschooling mom, and most of all, a Jesus lover. I love to help people integrate their faith into their relationships so that they can experience breakthrough and to really live from a place of love. I actually interviewed my kids and I asked them, what are some things that a parent should never say? Number one was a parent should never say yes all the time. And I thought, oh, what a marvelous one to come up with first. And when I asked them about this, they told me how kids need limits. They need to hear no, and they need to know where the boundaries are. Kids need to know what the expectations are, and they certainly need to know that there are limits to their own behavior. We want to raise kids who are contributing to society. They most definitely need to hear the word no so that they have a healthy view of themselves and the world around them. If we don't share that word no, we tend to raise people around whom the world revolves. We actually have a short word for that, and that is entitlement. So when we have the courage to say no to our kids, we are actually raising humble people who realize that the world is bigger than just them and their desires, and that they have a purpose that goes beyond fulfilling their own desires. They have a destiny and a purpose that hopefully will change the world for the better, and that requires hearing the word no. The second thing that we want to avoid saying to our kids is, you don't have what it takes. You'll never be able to do that. We never want to squelch the destiny and purpose and dream in their own heart. As ridiculous as it may sound to us who might be adults with a mortgage and a minivan, we want to support their dreams and their outlandish desires because truly our ceiling is their floor.
So what do you feel like parents should never say?
Like, I don't know how you're gonna make it in life, or how are you gonna do that? You don't have XYZ. Like, just kind of questioning your intelligence and questioning your abilities, questioning the resources. Just, it really makes you feel like, well, gosh, how am I gonna make it in life?
We want them to dream big, and most of all, we want them to know from us that we believe that they have what it takes. We join them in the dreaming. One of the most shaming or judgmental words out there is why. I know it doesn't seem like it at first, but when we start to use why instead of what, we actually sort of infuse judgment and shame into our relationship with our kids. So an example would be a child is carrying something across the kitchen and they are carrying too much in their hands and they drop the glass jar of pickles. And it's glass everywhere, it's pickle juice everywhere, it's a huge mess. And you can imagine a parent saying, why did you do that? And that can really be harmful and damaging to a child because it really insinuates that there's a character flaw. There's shame behind it that drives home a message that they are bad instead of it wasn't the wisest choice. We want to separate the person from the behavior because, of course, when we love somebody unconditionally and are coming from a place of love and connection, we love them no matter what. One of my favorite things to say to my kids is, I love you so much. There is nothing you could do that would make me love you less. And there's nothing that you could do that would make me love you more. Either way, I'm totally here for it. I love you. And I think you're adorable and sweet and you're just mine. That's why I love you. I love you because you're mine and none of these other things matter. So a different way that we might want to say that if we are frustrated is to, first of all, take a breath. It's always wise to take a breath. And then to really lead with the what word. Tell me what you were thinking when you decided to carry so much. Do you think that that could have gone a different way? Is there a different decision that you could have made? You know, and really just exploring, but not shaming. Number 4 is the should versus the could. And if you've watched my other video of don't should on yourself, it really is communicating freedom to someone. Instead of you should really get to your work, we could say, you could do your work right now. That probably will help you out in the long run so that you have more time to play this evening. You know, we have a boundary in place, like all of the chores or the schoolwork need to be done before dinner. Sometimes they will reach those goals and sometimes they won't. And then we can carry our boundaries out and have some enforcement, whether positive or negative. But the point is, when we use the could word, we're showing them that there are options and we're transferring the responsibility to them. As they get older and they are learning to cope and deal with a little bit of freedom, using and modeling that word could, I believe, gets them into a place of freedom where they say, oh gosh, like I have some free time. So I could take care of my chores. I could go for a walk. I could do my schoolwork, or I could take a rest. And so we're kind of teaching them that all of these things are okay. And of course, also holding in the other hand that there are expectations that they have to meet. I feel like the word stupid just shouldn't be allowed in our family language. It just is such a cut, right? And again, it brings up this sort of questioning of who they are, what they bring to the table. Are they capable? It calls into question their intelligence, their worth, their value. And so instead of that, again, I would encourage you to take a breath and shake off any frustration or moment of anguish that you're having, because honestly, we've all been there. But instead to embrace love and connection and to be like, it's okay. How can we do it better next time? I want to walk with you. And it's showing our kids that even when they mess up, even when they are at their worst, we love them still. And that's what we really want to convey. And when we break down these 5 things, that's really what we're after, is we're celebrating and affirming who they are made to be. We want them to run their race and we want to set them up for success. I picture us as parents, you know, at the beginning, we're like carrying them as they're running their race and we're caring for all their needs and setting them up for success. But then, you know, as they're able to walk and run on their own, our role changes, but from the moment they're born, we are launching them. I will miss the years where I was actively shaping hearts in my household. It is such an honor and a joy and a privilege. So you're setting the stage and you're giving them all the words of life and blessing, confidence and self-worth and value. This week, I want you to challenge yourself as an activation to really look at your own heart and say to yourself, am I coming from a place of love and connection? Or am I in more of a judgment camp or an annoyance camp? You know, like my kids are a nuisance, they just bother me so much. Are we in a selfish place? We want to be honest with ourselves, and then we can invite Jesus into it and say, Lord, forgive me. I have had a very unloving heart here, or a selfish heart, or maybe a judgmental one. And I don't want to pass that on to my kids. So will you work with me? Show me what I need to know so that I can love my kids better with my words. He will heal that. He will give you strategies. He will unlock the wounded places in you so that you don't pay it forward for generations to come.